Thank you for joining us today as we welcome a kid again to the Charlotte area. I'm Duff Milkey, Executive Vice President and Corporate Counsel of Cedar Fair Entertainment Company. You may know us better as the parent company of Carowinds. We've been active supporters to A Kid Again chapters in Ohio, where we operate two large amusement parks, Cedar Point and Kings Island, and we're delighted to partner with them on their expansion in the Charlotte area. A Kid Again's mission and vision resonate with us here at Cedar Fair. Their mission, fostering hope, happiness, and healing for families with children with life-threatening conditions. And their vision is that every child in America with a life-threatening condition can be a kid again. For more than 25 years, A Kid Again has made life for families caring for children with life-threatening conditions, quote, normal again, by helping them gain back moments of positive, family-shared experiences and memories. That matches up well with Cedar Fair's mission of making people happy by providing fun, memorable experiences that they can share with family and friends. Last year at our Ohio parks, we helped nearly 13,000 kids and families. Several members of our corporate and park leadership team serve on advisory boards of A Kid Again local chapters in Ohio, and we are delighted to help expand that work in Charlotte. For the past several years, our parks in Ohio have hosted an annual day at the park and picnic for anywhere from 500 to 5,000 guests. It's our opportunity to allow children and families a day of fun and excitement and a chance to create a connection and make lasting memories with families and friends. In addition, we've donated proceeds from auctions and other special events, as well as provided support to A Kid Again fundraisers and their annual gala. Here in Charlotte, Cedar Fair has donated office space to help A Kid Again get up and running. I hope you'll join us in welcoming A Kid Again to our region and supporting their important work. Thank you.
To get our families over to Carowinds this summer. Now, the heart and soul of our organization is the families we serve. Let's hear from one of our current families about the impact A Kid Again is making in their lives.
Grant was born December 26, 2011. Grant's diagnosis is 22q11.2 deletion syndrome. He currently has about 50 symptoms, and some are extremely mild and some are extremely severe. And the one that's most severe is of adrenal insufficiency. Juliana, she's 3.5 years older than him. When he was born, she thought, I'm gonna have a baby brother. He's gonna come home and everything's gonna be great and we're gonna play. And we didn't come home right away because we were in NICU, so she had to stay with aunts and uncles and grandma.
You know, her life changed quite a bit. Not to say she's felt abandoned, but there's a lot that she's had to deal with.
And it was unfair that she would get to see all this attention given to him and not to her. So she's missing a lot of mommy time.
I'm really scared about everything with him. It's very sad.
It was very hard on her, but it wasn't really, honestly, until A Kid Again. The fact that we get these opportunities to do things as a family makes up for that.
Even if he can't go to something, it's an opportunity for us to take her and for her to feel special for a night, because she's just as much impacted as he is, just differently.
They still give her the red carpet treatment because she's a sibling, and they really pay attention to the siblings. When she gets to go to an event, her worries are gone. She gets to play, she gets to let loose, she gets to be a kid, she gets to have fun.
It's just time as a family, and just, it's really great.
It has taken a lot of weight off of our shoulders. I am eternally grateful.
Some things can't be cured, you know, some things can't be fixed, and this organization gives families the opportunity to have fun, and I think sometimes that's overlooked. For me, that's what I love about this organization and what those dollars go for. It allows us to have fun as a family and to make amazing memories.
I have had the pleasure of meeting Grant and his wonderful family. I've got to tell you, an incredible young man. We spent some time together at the local zoos and many of the other fun adventures that A Kid Again puts on. Just as a note, want to share, there's somewhere around 1.5 million kids across our wonderful nation facing some level of a life-threatening condition. And the average cost of care to raise that child can range anywhere from $400,000 to $600,000 a year. So when we ask for you to help us find great ways to help these kids just feel normal and be a kid again, you see the impact, as you've just heard from Grant and his family. So as we seek to serve more families like Grant, we search long and hard to find the right leader in Central Carolina's market to help us achieve this goal. Let's hear from a dynamic, passionate, and caring leader, our new executive director of the Central Carolinas chapter, Ed Pack.
Thank you, Oyama. Really grateful to be a part. My family and I are thrilled to be a part of A Kid Again and the opportunity to launch this impactful mission in the Carolinas. 2021 marks the 16th year of my nonprofit career, and over the course of those 16 years, I've always felt called to serve with organizations that are dedicated to providing to those in need. The opportunity that we have in the Carolinas here is considerable. And while we wish that our mission was needless and unnecessary, that there were no kids battling life-threatening conditions, the fact is that there are a great many of kids and families walking through significant medical journeys. And that makes our challenge great, but our impact even greater. In just a few short weeks, we've had over 50 families join our organization, and I've had the opportunity to talk with many of them. The strength and positivity that they display in spite of their challenges, combined with the compassion and support that they have for each other, is truly inspiring. On multiple occasions, I have found myself holding back tears as they walk me through their medical journeys. And it's in those moments that I know without a doubt that I'm where I'm meant to be here at A Kid Again. If you would like to be a part of something special, something that's going to make a lifelong impact in the lives of the families that we serve, I invite you to join our mission. There are lots of ways to get involved: volunteer, donate, spread the word. Just by following and sharing our messages on social media, you will be introducing our program to a family who may need it. In just a short period of time, we have developed some amazing partnerships with organizations and individuals that share our vision and our passion for serving others. And as a result, big things are in the works. You heard from our amazing partners at Cedar Fair and Carowinds. As I join you from the Cedar Fair headquarters today, we're thrilled to announce that we are planning our first in-person adventure to be held at Carowinds this summer, where we will bring together all of the kids and siblings and parents from our chapter for an amazing day of fun and excitement, completely cost-free. This summer, we will also launch our very first fundraising opportunity through the support of another outstanding family. Yandrick and Elaine Parazon committed themselves to launching an event in 2021 that would inspire the greater Charlotte community to come together in the spirit of inclusiveness, togetherness, and diversity. Powerful words that are important to this family. And when they heard about A Kid Again and the connection and importance that those words have within our mission, they knew that our organization was the perfect match for their vision. So they launched the inaugural Parazon Invitational, a golf tournament that will be held on Saturday, August 7th at Emerald Lakes Golf Club and will benefit A Kid Again. And lastly, I want to give a huge thank you to Anthony Trotman. Anthony is the Deputy County Manager for Mecklenburg County. And like the Parazon family and many of those that you will meet within our mission, he is driven to positively impact the lives of others. Since hearing our mission and vision, Anthony has carried the A Kid Again flag throughout the greater Charlotte community in a way that has opened so many doors and connected us with countless caring and compassionate individuals. There are many more organizations and individuals that have already responded to our invitation to be a part of this great mission, and there will be many more. I'm grateful to the leadership at A Kid Again and the board at A Kid Again for allowing me to be a part of this great organization, and I look forward to sharing the great news of the impact of our mission as we carry hope, happiness, and healing to every family in the Carolinas that needs it. Thank you, Oyama.
Thank you, Ed. Now you all can see why we're so excited with the leadership of Ed in our Central Carolinas chapter. As you heard him say, these are adventures that we provide cost-free and carefree for the families who are a part of our program. That's done through the generosity and support of a number of our partners and individuals like you. And as an organization supporting children with critical illnesses and conditions, our partnerships with the pediatric medical community are important. Pediatricians, social workers, and caseworkers help us identify families who will benefit from what we offer, along with referrals from other families and friends. Speaking of wonderful advocates for children facing life-threatening conditions, I'd like to invite Dr. Marquita Suttle, pediatric critical care physician at Nationwide Children's Hospital and a member of our national board and my friend, to talk about the impact. Dr. Suttle.
Thank you so much, Oyama. I'm very excited and very honored to be here to talk today on behalf of A Kid Again. I'm not sure I'm going to do it justice. I feel like Grant's family explained it perfectly, and a lot of what I'm going to say aligns with what they say. But from being involved with A Kid Again and being a part of some of these adventures, some of the things that stand out to me and why these adventures are so important for families and kids with life-threatening conditions, it's a chance for them to feel normal. So much of their life is made up of going to doctor's visits, going to physical therapy sessions, being admitted to the hospital, going into the next scary or painful procedure. These adventures are just fun. It's time for their, it's a time for their family just to make memories, have an enjoyable time, and feel like any other family that's out there. It's a chance for them to make memories and feel normal. And these adventures really have such a positive impact on these families, and they provide a lot of hope for these families because they create this excitement that builds over the weeks prior to these adventures. It creates this hope, something for them to look forward to. And it's something that has nothing to do with their child's diagnosis. It doesn't matter if you're the sibling or if you're the kid with, the condition, the mom or the dad, everybody looks forward to these adventures. And like I said, the excitement just builds as they go to these adventures or as the days come up to these adventures. And I think that it creates an overall positive outlook on life for these families. And I think it reminds them all the possibilities that go along with living life and living life to its fullest. And so I think, again, it's just something that these families really look forward to. For me as an intensive care doctor in Columbus, it's been really fun to go to some of these adventures and actually see some of the patients that I care for. We provide adventures to a countless number of families with rare conditions, from chromosomal disorders to children with cancer to children with congenital heart disease. I think the ones that really strike me and stand out to me are, we have several of our families of children who have terminal conditions. For instance, like our children with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, there's no cure for that condition yet. And it's something where you kind of watch your child be born with the regular milestones, and then throughout their life, they kind of slowly become, a little bit more impacted. It's tougher for the families to get around and do things. So I think about those families a lot, what it must feel like as a, one of the kids or as one of the parents day to day to carry that weight, knowing that their child's life is going to be shorter. But then you have these adventures, right? So something that fills those days with something that's more happy or more fulfilling. It's a chance to focus on something else besides what the future is going to look like for these families. And so that's something that always impacts me when we're at the adventures. And I think the other people that kind of are near and dear to my heart are the children and families that are equipment dependent. So our kids that are in wheelchairs or have feeding tubes or on ventilators, it doesn't matter with these adventures. They're still welcome, and we find ways to make them feel involved and make them feel safe and protected. And just the weight that must take away for those families, knowing that they can go on these adventures, oftentimes with smaller crowds. They don't have to be worried about bringing their child's ventilator or bringing their child's feeding tube. We always have lots of volunteers on hand to help these families have a great experience and a great time. But I think despite all of this, probably the thing I love the most about A Kid Again is the fact that this organization is not just about the child, it's about the entire family, very much like how Grant's mother was describing. Having a niece that kind of went through a similar experience, and then also as a physician, I see how these conditions impact siblings, impact moms, dads, all the psychological effects that can have on everybody, including the child with the disorder. And so the fact that A Kid Again really makes a point to support every member of the family, to make every member of the family feel special is something I think that makes the organization really, really, really unique and really more meaningful for these families. And it helps to support the emotional health for all of the families, for all of the members of the family. So it's a fantastic organization. I'm so excited for this rollout in Charlotte and being able to provide these opportunities to even more families and more children with life-threatening conditions.
Thank you, Dr. Suttle. And as you shared, we are about building a community. So when we get our families together, they organically start to connect and interact and build resources that they can share among each other. And what I'll share with you is that when we think about the impact that a Kid Again has had on so many families, 9 out of 10 of our families have reported that their child and their siblings, the children's siblings, typically are finding that they have a greater positive outlook on life and what it is that they're battling and dealing with, simply because they have hope and they have opportunities for things to look forward to that perhaps maybe they might not have had a chance to participate in. As you heard me mention a little bit earlier, that cost of care can be a little bit of a burden on a number of our families, which makes it a little bit of a challenge for them to attend what we call normal opportunities, like the ability to go to the zoo or a chance to go to Carowinds or attend a local sporting events. That's where a Kid Again comes in. And even if the child that is battling the condition is unable to attend a specific adventure, the siblings and parents and caregivers can still come. And that's the beauty and the uniqueness of the organization. And I've just got to say, thank you all for being here with us today as we officially celebrate and launch the A Kid Again Central Carolinas chapter. We know some of you received swag boxes with some A Kid Again goodies as a thank you for your interest in our organization. If you did not receive one, but would like to get one, you can fill out the form in the registration link and we'll be certain to get one to you. So how do you get involved and how do you help support? If you are a family who is caring for a child with a life-threatening condition, sign up to get involved. We can't wait to meet you and host you at one of our upcoming adventures. And I'll tell you, we have probably one of the quickest, easiest, and simplest processes in order to get enrolled in an organization. If you know of a family that is raising a child with some level of a life-threatening condition who can benefit from our adventures, tell them about us. Send them to our website at www.akidagain.org. We're also in need of great volunteers, people with a heart, people who want to give back, who want to help out in a variety of ways. Get your company involved, your school, your church groups, your civic clubs. We welcome them all to help us put a smile on a kid's face and create memories that will last a lifetime. And all of this is done through the generosity of our partners and from donations, generally at $35. A donation at $35 allows a kid to give their illness a timeout and simply be a kid again. That's less than a cup of coffee a day. So at this moment, we like for everyone who's put questions in the chat feature to take a moment as our voice of God, Julie, will read out some questions for us, and the panelists, we will all provide responses to your questions. Julie?
Hi, Oyama, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you, everybody. We do have a couple questions that have come in, some in the chat, some sent to me directly. So we'll just go through these one by one. And if anybody else has questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But the first one deals with the requirements that a family needs to be in order to become a Kid Again family. So can you just describe kind of what are any requirements and eligibility protocols?
Absolutely. So the requirements and eligibility to be a part of a Kid Again are fairly simple. All you need to know is that the child needs to be under the age of 20 and diagnosed with some level of a life-threatening condition. That's it. Those two criteria. they can go on our website at www.akidagain.org and sign up. And in some cases, based off of the diagnoses alone, will automatically enroll you in the organization. So it's a very straightforward and simple process to join the A Kid Again family.
Great. Another one that we have is if a child is in remission from their illness, does that have any impact on their eligibility?
So another great question. We love to know when children are in remission because that means that the process of care is working for them. But guess what? You still are a part of the A Kid Again family, and you and your siblings and your caregivers and your parents, whomever else is in your family cluster, still get to participate and be a part of the wonderful adventures that we offer at A Kid Again for as long as you can.
Great. And the last one deals with the COVID protocols that have been implemented over the past year. Certainly there's been a lot of lessons learned, and I'm sure a lot of these will also continue in the future, even after we get through the pandemic. So can you talk a little bit about the COVID protocols for both the virtual adventures and also in-person events as we move towards some of those?
Yeah, so absolutely. You know, one of the things that we value is making certain that all of our experiences, all of our adventures are safe. And the one thing that we do know, recognizing and working with children who are battling some level of life-threatening conditions, is the need to wear masks and the need to use hand sanitizer and proper social distancing. So at all of our in-person adventures, we follow the CDC guidelines, all of the state guidelines, and the local municipality guidelines to ensure that we are operating in a safe and an experienced environment that allows our kids to have fun and be able to enjoy themselves. So even in our virtual experiences, where sometimes we will ask the families to come through what we call a drive-through pickup party in order to pick up their boxes. We call them the Adventures in the Box. We even provide the same level of social distancing and the care that is required to ensure that we are living into the moments that we all are experiencing. So do know, we take all the proper care, and all of our partners, including those over at Carowinds, I can tell you, are doing an incredible job in order to ensure the safety of everyone who attend our adventures.
Great. We have two more great questions that have come in. And one relates to if the enrolled child is too ill to attend the adventure, can siblings still attend?
The answer to that is yes. So even if the child who is experiencing some level of that condition, and let's say they have a doctor's appointment or they're just not feeling well, but the siblings still want to come and they want to go to Carowinds, they want to go to the sporting event, they want to come to what we call the game or board night activities, absolutely they can.
Perfect. And similar to that, if a family has two children that would qualify based on medical conditions, should they sign both of them up, or is it just kind of one enrollment per family?
Another great question. You absolutely want to indicate that you do have two children or multiple children in the household with whatever the various levels of conditions are, because oftentimes we can utilize that information to ensure that we customize for some their experience at our adventures. And here's the reason why. We know that with cystic fibrosis, we need to make certain that the kids can actually identify themselves and maintain a certain level of distance apart. So when we have that critical information, we can provide the right level of labels, meaning their name badges and or lanyards, so that these kids, parents, and others can best identify the needs of those children.
Perfect. And we have some great enrollment questions coming. Another one is, when you enroll a child, how long are they enrolled with A Kid Again? Do you need to kind of re-register at any point?
Ed, you want to take that one?
Sure. No, once you are a member of the A Kid Again family, you are a member of the A Kid Again family. Once you reach the age of 20, then we will graduate you from the A Kid Again program. But from the time that you join all the way to the age of 20, you are a member of the Kid Again family, and you remain a Kid Again family for forever, even after you graduate from our activities and our adventures.
Thank you, Ed. Those are all of the questions that we have so far. I'm just checking to see if any more come into the chat. So certainly if you do have a question, go ahead and put those in there and we'll make sure that we get them answered. Oh, here's one more. Along with monthly donations, how can we help the families? So Ed, is there any more information that you have about volunteering or anything of that nature?
Absolutely. So, the easiest thing to do that I always tell people is follow us on social media, share our posts and our messages. You have no idea who you're going to reach within your community, you're going to let them know that A Kid Again exists and that we are there to serve them or someone that they know. So follow us is the easiest thing. Follow us on social media. Another opportunity would be volunteer. Come experience one of our events. Come take a look for the first time and get a chance to meet some of these families and see the life-changing impact that we're making through our program. We're quite certain that will pull you into the A Kid Again family, and you will stay on board for a long period of time. And then lastly, of course, we always need financial support. We're only able to provide these cost-free adventures because of the financial support of generous donors, generous corporations, and generous foundations. So any opportunity that we have to receive charitable donations from individuals is always appreciated.
Thank you, Ed. One more question that came in refers to teenage siblings in particular. Is there a certain age where teenagers might be able to attend on their own, or do they always need to have a parent accompany them to an event? I guess that could be siblings or A Kid Again children.
So great question. I'll take this one. We do require and ask anyone under the age of 18 is accompanied by an adult. So we do have online experiences. And as you can imagine, even with our esports, we want to make sure that we have proper guidance in any of the utilization of the platforms and adventures that we do offer.
Great. There's continuing to see some great questions too. Another one that just came in, are siblings kind of at the 20 age cutoff? Can siblings who are older than 20 still attend events, or do siblings need to kind of stop attending when they turn 20, even if A Kid Again medically eligible child may be under 20?
The great thing about many of the adventures that we offer, including that at Carowinds, it is for anyone of any age. And we recognize that for some of our adventures, they become special moments, special adventures in the lives of those families. And so whether the sibling is 28 or 38, and that child that's a part of our program is under the age of 20 and participating with us at one of our adventures, we want that family unit to be able to bond and build that camaraderie and be able to give the illness a timeout and create wonderful memories that we know will last well beyond their lifetime. So in its simplest form, we do not put an age restriction or cutoff on the siblings being able to attend the adventures with the child who is a part of the program.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I don't see any other questions coming in at the moment. Again, if you do have any last minute questions, go ahead and put those in the chat. But Oyama, I think I will turn it back over to you for any closing remarks.
Well, first and foremost, let me just say thank you all to everyone who has been joining us and who took the time to just help us celebrate and launch the Central Carolinas chapter. Thank you to Dr. Suttle and to Ed. We're excited about everything that we know you'll be able to accomplish for the betterment of the kids that we serve with this organization. And so thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you at our first adventure in Central Carolinas. Thank you.